look with my dear friend Derissa Raynne, aka Riri. We are doing the November birthstone, which is Topaz slash citrine. We're mostly going to be focusing on the shade Topaz. So of course I'm going to be using my ColourPop and Kathleen Lights So Jaded palette. I really do love doing this series because it really does let me, have a chance to use this palette every single month at least once and get more use out of it and create more looks with still my favorite palette that I've ever gotten. I still think that this is my favorite palette ever. It is literally my holy grail. So I get so excited to use it every single time we're able to do this video. So I'm so excited to do a look with this for the November birthstone. I saw Derissa's look already and it's stunning, and oh my god, her hair, I love the blonde on her. I mean, of course she looked gorgeous as a brunette, but the blonde, oh my god, stunning. I love the shade on her so much. She looks so beautiful. So yeah, before you watch my video, just go ahead and click out of this video and go and watch her video first, and then you can come back here if you remember. But yes, please go check out her video and subscribe to her. I absolutely have just been loving talking to Riri. She really is such a sweet person and I love her. She's a beautiful soul. So we're gonna jump into the video. So I already primed my eyes with my Anastasia eye primer. I've been loving this primer so much, you guys. It's so good. It really brings out the color of the eyeshadow so much. And I haven't used it with this palette yet because I haven't had a chance to use this palette for a little while because I was testing out the Mandalorian palette and the Pinky Rose palette. So I haven't used it with this one yet. So I was just going to use my Smashbox one today, but I was like, no, I want to try it with this one because I haven't tried it yet. So we're going to jump right into it. And then I did just apply my ColourPop lip oil, of course, in Dewdrop. And then I also set my eyes as well with my Marc Jacobs powder, so we would be ready to just jump into the eye look. So anyway, so I'm going to try and use the citrine shade and the Topaz shade, of course, but I do want to incorporate a bit of orange as well since Topaz is more of like an orangey yellow birthstone. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with citrine in my crease area just so I can have that color down. So I'm going to start with that. And I saw her look and it's beautiful. She always does stunning makeup looks, so I'm really excited to see her video. We initially were supposed to post this around the same time that we usually do in the month, which usually we post it around like the 13th, but she was sick and I had work this weekend, so I was like, you know what, let's just, push it back a little bit. And I already had like a couple of videos to post anyway, so I was like, it's okay. And I had me and Kimberly's collab go up instead of me and Derissa's anyway, and plus I wanted to get my Mandalorian first impressions up before this one anyway, because of course I wanted to film with that palette and show you guys what I thought of it, because it was my newest palette. So anyway, so I'm just gonna throw this in my crease and blend it back and forth. It's actually not as yellow as I think it's going to be every time I actually use it. It's more of like a mustardy yellow. I always think it's going to be like this bright yellow in the pan, but it's really not. So I'm going to go ahead and build that up. And then we'll get into the next shade. Okay, and then for the next shade, I want to go into the deeper orange. So I'm going to take the shade Carnelian and I'm going to put that in my defining area to define the crease more. So I'm going to just work that back and forth. Honestly, every time I go back to this palette, I always think it's like the best formula they've ever come out with. I mean, I love most of my ColourPop palettes, but this palette is just like always on another level for me every time I use it. It's just like I always love the looks that I do with this palette, and it's like it just works. Like it's so pigmented when you put it on the brush. So yeah, Derissa wasn't feeling that well, and I was checking on her quite a bit. I was like, it's really okay if you want to push back the video. Like, I don't want someone to force themselves to film if they don't feel well enough. Like, that is the worst feeling. And like, when I collab with someone, I want them to be in a good mood and I want them to have the desire to film so they can do their best work, you know? Because like it sucks if like you like half-ass something and like, and also I just wanted her to feel better. I'm like, don't push yourself, girl. I was like, it's okay. We can wait. Like it's fine. I can film it when I have the time. I'm like, it's really okay. So, and she was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like, seriously, don't thank me. I was like, I just want you to feel better. So I was like, it's really okay. Like, you don't feel well. I'm not going to force you to film something. So anyway, I'm just going to apply my glitter primer because I don't think I'm going to do an outer corner shade because I kind of want most of that Topaz glitter on my lid. So I don't always love doing an outer corner when I use a pressed glitter. So we'll be back. Okay, and then for the lid shade, I'm going to take like a base shade first because with some ColourPop glitters, they're not always like super opaque when you just use the glitter. So I'm going to use the shade Sunstone and I'm going to put that underneath the Topaz shade. And I love this shade. This is one of my favorites in the palette as well. And I love this shade with these mattes. Oh, so pretty. So I'm going to use that first. And put it on the inner part as well, obviously. Because I kind of want the Topaz shade to be like a little bit of like a hint of glitter, not like all over the lid. I just want it like over this shade. And put it on this side too. I feel like this shade is not as pigmented as I remember it. It might be just because the palette is getting older, but I remember it being a little bit more pigmented than this. That's kind of interesting. Just checking my phone. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't really have to be built up too much anyway because we're putting a glitter over it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is usually I like layering my glitter glue because usually if you just go over it with the glitter, it's not enough for it to stick to the lid. So I'm going to put on a little bit more glitter glue off camera and then we'll do the pressed glitter. And then we're going to go into the, of course, the Topaz shade and we're going to put that all over the lid. Well, not all over the lid. We're just going to take, you know, a little bit and we're just going to press it over that shade. Of course, I need more. This shade is so pretty, you guys. Like, it has, like, gold and bronze, and it's just so pretty. I love it. I'm going to try and get a little bit more on the inner part. Might have to put a little bit more glitter glue on the inner part. But I do like how this looks. I'm just going to put that on this eye. Sometimes, like, it depends on where you stick the glitter glue is where it sticks to, and it kind of looks like a bit weird, but we can fix that. Hopefully, it won't look too weird. It looks pretty, though. I like it. I just want it to make it look a little bit more, like, scattered. And not as, like, concentrated in that, like, middle area. Yeah, that looks good. I think that looks pretty. Yeah, I like it. Okay, and then for the brow bone, of course, I'm just going to take the usual shade I use, which is My Precious, because I use it like every time on my brow bone for this, when I use this palette, so I'm going to take that. I mean, I love this palette so much, you guys, like, love it, but the one thing that it's lacking is that it doesn't have any pink shades in here. If it had pink shades in here, I would literally, like, not need any other palette. At the same time, I don't really need any other palette when I bring this to, like, my best friend's house when I see her in Connecticut. I really don't need any other palette. But usually I'll bring like the Midnight Masquerade with me because it has like a couple of pink shades in there just in case if I like planned to do a pink look with like the outfit that I'm wearing. So that is pretty much it for the eyes. I mean, I really like how it turned out. I just want to put a little bit more orange in the crease because we are getting a bit of transfer, but nothing too crazy. Just a tiny bit, and then we will work on the face. Okay, so now we're going to work on the face. I already did prime my face with my MAC Prep and Prime spray and then my Baby Skin Maybelline primer. So I'm going to go into a stick foundation today. So I'm going to use my ColourPop No Filter Stick Foundation. This is basically one of Kathleen Light's favorite products too from ColourPop, and I was like, well, I do get inspired to use a lot of ColourPop products. I mean, every time I use a ColourPop palette, and also when I use a Kathleen Light's palette, I like using like her favorites. But I love this foundation too, and I just didn't feel like using a liquid foundation today. Excuse this breakout here. It freaking sucks. But I like that this concealer, this foundation gets really nice and sheared out, so it doesn't really look like full coverage on my skin. If I just do like one layer with it and use like a sponge with it, then it like is like a more natural everyday foundation, which I really like. So that's what I'm gonna do today. But it still gives you like a little bit of something, like with like that Makeup Forever Aqua foundation and like other foundations that like claim that they're water-based and then don't do anything. Like that's when I'm like, what? Like this like kind of looks like a tinted moisturizer to me right now. And it still gives me like something, you know? I just want a little bit more in this area. Just to cover it up a little bit more. I mean, I could have just done that with concealer, but it's fine. Yeah, that's better. See how it layers so nicely? So, like, I feel like that coverage is a little bit more concentrated in that area now, but it still looks like really skin-like. And then for my concealer, I'm going to use the Coinciding No Filter Concealer. Just because I want to today. I'm not going to use too much. I'm going to use a little bit on this shiner right here. Oh, let me just put a little bit on my forehead. But like I'm trying to use this guy up, so I'm like, let me just use it today. And it does blend in really nicely. It doesn't really look too full coverage, so I can make this look really light as well, especially with the ColourPop sponges. I love using the ColourPop sponges with their foundations and concealers. Really is a nice combo. I'm just going to finish blending that. And then I just applied it underneath my eyes. I'm just going to blend it out. By the way, I'm in the shade Fair 02, and then the stick, I'm in the shade Fair 05W, which is basically their lightest shade. I have like a backup of this concealer still sitting in my room because I still haven't went through this one yet. I went through a full one of the Fair 08 shade, and this one I'm almost done with, but I still haven't went through it yet. And this is still like my original one. I went through another one of them when they didn't expand their shade range. I went through the first one that I had, which I believe was Fair 05. And then they expanded the shade range to come out with even lighter shades. And I think they came out with darker shades then at the time as well. So I bought like 2 other shades of it. And I find that I think that this one is my perfect shade because I felt like the Fair 08 was too pale. And this one is like really, really good. So I really like this shade a lot. I don't know if 08 was darker though, but I still love this shade, so I'm pretty sure this one might be lighter, but Fair 02, yeah, I think this one is fairer, but it's such a great shade, so it doesn't make my skin look too pale. Okay, and then I'm just going to set my face and my under eyes with my e.l.f. powder. So yeah, I went through the first one that I had, and then I went through the 08 shade, but I haven't went through this one yet. And then I already have a backup of it, so I don't have to repurchase it for a long time. I did actually just go through my Milani concealer. I'm thinking about repurchasing it because I love that concealer. But I am not purchasing like any other high-end concealers this year. I already tried the Pat McGrath. And what was the other one? I felt like I tried another one and I can't remember what it is. I tried the Rare Beauty, did not like it. I liked the foundation way more. I know, Riri, you liked the concealer way more. I liked the foundation way more. So it's just funny, like, how, like, personal preference affects, like, if you like something. I don't know why that took me forever to close the jar. And then I'm, of course, going to use my Flower Beauty powder. I am determined to use this powder every day until I hit pan on it. So you guys are going to be seeing the same powder for a long time because I still cannot believe I haven't hit pan on this thing. All right, so now we are going to jump into the lower lash line and jump into the palette again. Let me just grab my brushes. Okay, so for the lower lash line, I do want to do like an orangey yellow kind of lower lash line. So first I'm going to go into that citrine shade again. I'm going to take a decent amount. God, I need to make some room on my desk right now. I'm going to take that on the inner part. Oh my god, that is like going everywhere. Maybe I should, I put a little bit too much on my brush, so let's just take a little bit. I'm gonna do the same over here and kind of just apply that on the inner part. So what are you guys watching these days? I know, like, people think I'm always watching The Wire. Oh my god. Wow, Caitlin. But I posted on Kim's video when I watched her video, and she was like, I started watching The Wire because of you. And she was like, I always feel like she's watching it. And it's like, I'm not always watching the show. That's only the second time I've watched the show completely all the way through. And then I'm going to take that orange shade that we used as well, and I'm going to put that on the outer parts. But I'm like, girl, I'm not always watching it. Like, I actually haven't watched it since I watched it for the first time with my boyfriend. And then I had to convince my mom to watch the show because I was like, the show is amazing. I don't know how you don't like it. Because my mom, like, for the longest time didn't want to watch it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, if you like Breaking Bad, you have to like The Wire. The Wire literally influenced Breaking Bad, like, so much. And that's why Breaking Bad is so good. I mean, of course, it had amazing directors, but The Wire did influence Breaking Bad quite a bit, so. But yeah, I've only watched it through all the way twice. That's, you know, I've only rewatched it once. And I didn't even rewatch the whole thing with them because sometimes they wouldn't wait till I was done at my boyfriend's house and they would just watch it. But I'm liking how this sunset eye is turning out. I love sunset eyes. I haven't done a look like this in a while. And I missed it. And then for my inner corners, I am just going to take my usual shade, which is the shade Pearl. I love this shade so much. It's like one of my favorite inner corner highlights, of course. And I'm trying to hit pan on this shade and possibly like another one. I'm trying to hit shade. I'm trying to hit pan on this one, and I'm trying to hit pan on my Precious. And Jasper has a pretty good dip in it as well, so It'd be cool if I hit pan on that too. I'm trying to see. I mean, I have a significant dip in this shade. It's just so beautiful. It's like my favorite inner corner highlight. I love it so much. I'm going to take it on the side too. But right now, I'm actually rewatching Breaking Bad. Because I haven't rewatched it. I watched like a little bit of it with my mom and my brother when they were rewatching it, because my brother's never seen it, so she rewatched it with my brother. But I didn't get to rewatch it with them because they watched it without me. I only caught like certain episodes like here and there. I really am trying to see if I've hit pan on it. Not quite yet. I think I'm almost there though. That'd be amazing. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the eyes. I'll do liner and mascara off camera. Okay, and then for bronzer, I'm just going to take my Milani Dolce bronzer just because I haven't used it in a little bit. And you guys know how much I love this bronzer. Just for like everyday looks. And I was actually looking at this look in my mirror and I was like, this is actually a lot more wearable than I thought it was going to be. Because I thought it was going to be like a little crazy with the glitter. Oh, and also, so I applied my Maybelline skinny liner to my waterline in brown, and then I just used my Wet n Wild Mega Length mascara for my lashes. I already put it away, so. But I also took the pearl shade and kind of like took it up a little bit into my crease area, and I freaking love how it looks. I keep on forgetting to do that, and I always see like Allie Brienne do that with her looks a lot. So I was like, I really want to try it, and it looks so beautiful. I'm definitely going to do that more often now. I think it looks so stunning. Sorry, I just got a message. Okay, so that is that. I'm just going to do a little bit more because this one you can build up quite a bit, and it never looks like too much. That's why I love this one. Okay, and then for blush, I'm trying to go into like older products that I haven't used in a while. So for my blush, I'm going to use the Balm's Hot Mama. I haven't used this in a while, so. And it's such a pretty, like, peachy tone blush. So I'm going to use that today. And I'm going to take my brush. Yeah, that's pretty. Oof. This is, like, way more pigmented than I remember it. Because I used to not, like, love it so much. But now, like, I really do like it. It might just be because I like changed up my skincare, like things just apply a lot smoother to my skin now. Okay, and then for highlight, I'm going to use my Milani Rose Glow Stellar Lights highlighter palette, and I'm probably going to mix all three of the shades together. This is so stunning, you guys. If you haven't tried Milani highlighters, and if you already love the Wet n Wild and the Maybelline Master Glow ones, these are amazing as well. Milani makes great highlighters. And I'm just going to apply that right here. But it's freaking stunning. I'm mostly taking the first two shades because I want it to be more like peachy gold. So I'm just mixing like a tiny bit of the pink. Oh my god. That is so beautiful. And honestly, like drugstore highlights, most of them I find that you don't even need to spray them. And they honestly like kick high-end highlighters ass sometimes. Like they're good. So pretty. Do I need any more? I think that's good. Yes. That's very pretty. Then I'm just going to spray my face. I feel like I've been filming for a century already. Okay, and then for the lips, because I'm like dropping everything for some reason, I'm going to go in with one of my Luxe lipsticks, of course. I really wanted to use this shade today, though, because I haven't used it in a little while, and I love this color. So this is the Mulan Luxe lipstick in the shade Hua Mulan. I hope it's peachy enough for this, so let's see. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Oh, such a pretty color. Excuse me. I'm just going to finish applying it off camera. Okay, you guys, this is the finished look. So here are the eyes, the cheeks, and the lips. Just want you to get a good look of the eyes. I really love how it turned out. This is such a pretty look. Yes, I haven't done a warm tone look in a while, actually. I mean, I've been using the Pinky Rose palette, but these are like my favorite warm tones to use. So yeah, please, again, go check out Derissa's video, aka Riri's video on the look that she did. I can't wait to see her look. I'm sorry, I've been talking for a while. My brain is like done right now. So yeah, again, I love using this palette every single month. So if you guys haven't picked up this palette yet, I highly suggest that you do. This is still my favorite palette from ColourPop. I love it so much. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram, CPW819. Let's talk, let's chat, let's, talk to each other. I love getting to know my subscribers. So yeah, I love you guys. Bye.